There's good news this weekend for businesses needing internet access in rural and remote Australia. To find out what it is, it's good morning to Image Matrix tech editor Djuro. Djuro, Starlink is very popular in the bush. So what's new?
Good morning, Tim. Starlink is popular. I actually bought one of those units myself, and I'll be testing it with Crosses to Sky in the coming weeks. But the good news this week is Sat1, a Perth company, has now combined with OneWeb, and they deliver a similar service to Starlink, but this is based on enterprise and business. So initially, this is not for consumers yet. But the great news is the deal they've done over multiple years and millions of dollars, includes New Zealand as well, is that businesses like pubs, maybe mining sites, all those things in rural areas can use this low Earth satellite system, a bit like Starlink, to communicate. And they're promising speeds, guaranteeing speeds, Tim, of 400 megabits down and 40 up. That's incredibly good if you consider that it's satellite service. This is a growing thing for people around the world. So once again, this is a business-based thing. So it's great that businesses around the country can get really good connectivity considering how hard it is. Great thing too, Sat1 is an Australian company based out of Perth, and this is amazing. One of their satellites can cover the region, as you saw there, the size of Alaska, and that means moving forward, the country is becoming less and less remote because we can contact each other for safety and other things. It's a really good business move. So hopefully soon we'll have another player in the market for consumers as well. But at this stage, it's for business and other operations.
Don't think I didn't notice that you mentioned pub first.
Mate, you've got to have connection to the pub. You've got to watch the footy, mate.
Now, there's a big tech show on in Germany this weekend. Anything exciting?
Oh, of course, there's plenty of stuff exciting about IFA. It's called IFA at Berlin. Was trying to get there, but things just fell over the last second. Got too much to do here. I have to watch the Roosters, of course, but some great stuff. So all the big names have been there this week, and that includes Samsung and LG and those sorts of guys. But robotics is huge there, whether they're standing up looking like a human or this. Exciting news. There's a new D-Bot X2 Omni from Ecovacs. It's a square shape now, Tim. I've been wanting this for ages. So this can do corners better. It's got more suction, 8,000 PA suction. So it's incredible, and it's very smart. This is probably the smartest robot vacuum you can get of all time because it's smart and it does the mopping as well. The beauty of this thing is you really don't have to touch it. It goes back to its home base and it'll clean itself and do everything you don't need to do, and that's the advantage of this shape. The Dyson came out earlier with a sort of square shape, but this takes it to another level. So that's hopefully we'll be in Australia very soon, and I'll have news on that when it breaks. Also this, look at this. This is Willow. Now, Willow has been out for a year or so, but it's really become a huge and popular robot at IFA. Now, this is a prototype, and it's got little arms on it. They're inspired by a few movies. But look at that. It can do your gardening, carry the rake, do the old-school mowing as well as mow the lawn itself. And there's a shot here you're going to love, but how good it is. And it can even pour you a beer. Now, that's a prototype, but the one without the arms you can get right now, and it mows the lawn, but very slowly.
Yeah, but I've got too much lawn to mow, but I will wait for the arms to come out. It's funny with the Ecovacs, it's fantastic, but it's like when it starts talking, I sort of respond. I say, like, what's going on? Like you sort of think that someone else is in the room. It's so real. Now, this week's blue supermoon had people reaching for their phones to capture the moment, but is there any point using a phone for moonshots? You're the expert. Tell me.
Well, normally I'd say no, but there is a reason to use a smartphone when you go out to capture the supermoon. And of course, it was a blue supermoon. It wasn't blue. It's just because we had two supermoons in the same calendar month. But this is what you usually do. So you get the phone out and you sort of line it up and reduce the exposure, and then you end up with a little white ball. Not good enough. So what you need to do, firstly, is use an app like this. This is called Moon Tracker. It's on the App Store, and it tells you, using the augmented reality, as you move it around, where the moon is. How good is that? So I knew it was going to rise, and I aimed this is the Canon digital mirrorless camera I'm using right there, and with an 800mm and extender, and look at the results, Tim. You can get really close to it. I was so impressed that so many people are out and about as well. But the real camera makes all the difference. Now, that lens is around $1,500, so you don't have to break the bank to get a really big lens in. And it's about getting up close to the moon, but getting something in the foreground as well to get great results. But if you get it low on the horizon, Tim, that's when you get the colours. So the moon is quite spectacular. You can't get this with a phone. It's absolutely impossible. But that reach was up to 1,600 millimetres, actually, with that lens on the Canon R6. So there you go. But it was great. People coming up asking me questions about it the other day. It's so good to see people really interested in the nature of science. There are all these people howling at the moon at Maroubra Beach, which probably isn't unusual, actually.
One small step for Djuro. Now, let's talk about your mighty Roosters. You know, my older son's a massive, passionate Roosters fan. So you guys not only were happy on Friday night, but you were happy last night because the Panthers winning the minor premiership means you guys, after everyone thought you were dead and buried, are now going to play finals footy.
Yeah, I wasn't too confident, but yeah, Tim, thanks to you, I got out of the game the other night, and with my daughter Isabella. Isn't it great? I just love dad and daughter dates when we go out and watch stuff, and she's a rugby person but loves the Roosters as well. I just thought it was great, and it was, you know, Sam Walker, as an old fullback, Tim, Tedesco. Gee, it was good to see him play well. And you know what? We had a few people out, but I thought it was good. We just had less aggro in the team, and it was wonderful to see. Bad luck for old mate Steve Fennick, but you know what? I don't feel too sorry about him.
No, you guys, I mean, you love Steve, but Roosters and Rabbitohs don't like each other. But to that point about spending time, one-on-one time, whether it's you know, I've got a daughter and two sons, it is just the most wonderful time, isn't it? We went to see a couple of World Cup matches, a few World Cup matches. My daughter and I were going to see Wicked this week. You can't take that time back. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Father's Day early for me. Absolutely wonderful. So I just love those times. So yeah, good crowd. It was a great atmosphere, and there's nothing like those Souths and Roosters fans coming together.
Well, perfect, Hugh. Happy Father's Day, mate. You enjoy it. I hope they spoil you.
You too, Tim. Cheers, mate.